Okay, Lori, I think it's all yours.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our virtual 2021 Maryland Charity Campaign Kickoff. My name is Lori Parks, and I'm the administrator for the Maryland Charity Campaign, also known as the MCC. So I'm going to start with a few housekeeping rules. First, we are recording today's kickoff, and later we will be adding it to the website so you can watch it at any time. If you happen to miss something or have a technical glitch, just know that it will be there, and we encourage you also to share it with your coworkers. Second, I ask that you mute your devices in order to minimize any disruptions. Finally, I would like you to join me in welcoming Alice Gentry, who will be singing our national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Feel free to sing out wherever you are. Alice?
Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, everyone. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Thank
you.
Thank you so much, Alice. What a beautiful performance. We're so grateful. We're really grateful to each of you. So my name is Kathy Smith, and I am honored to be Maryland's Assistant Secretary of State and join with you this morning for this 2021 Maryland Charity Campaign Kickoff. I know some of you are brand new to the state. I saw that in the chat box. So whether you are a veteran employee and you've been with the state for decades or you're brand new, welcome. We are thrilled that you are here. Some of you may be joining us obviously on Google Meet, and others may be live streaming on the Office of the Secretary of State Facebook page. However you're joining us, welcome. I am absolutely thrilled that you are with us this morning and this afternoon. You know, the pandemic presented challenges last year that none of us imagined. Because of COVID, we initiated a virtual MCC kickoff and events. In some ways, it was a blessing in disguise as I reflect upon how many trees were saved by using the online giving platform instead of paper pledge forms. The effects of the pandemic still have some charities reeling. Despite strained resources resulting from COVID, charities came to the rescue and continue to provide relief to families and communities. How is it possible for charities to continue their efforts? Well, in part, I'm sure it's because of the nearly 7,000 state employees and retirees who gave to the MCC last year. Together, we exceeded our $2 million goal and raised $2.1 million for about 1,000 participating charities. I got to tell you, I am so deeply indebted to each and every one of you who donated, as are all of the recipients of those programs and services in the charities in Maryland and beyond. It's not hard to imagine that during austere times when so many are struggling, that many of our donors themselves gave from their substance. What a tremendous gift. It's not lost on me that many state employees work 2 jobs. Many of them have both spouses working 2 jobs. As one of 8 children, I witnessed my dad work 4 jobs. He'd go from his day job to his night job, and then working 2 jobs on the weekends. My dad and mom instilled the value of hard work and a strong work ethic. They also instilled the importance of giving to others despite our very modest means. My parents always gave to those in need and instilled that value in all 8 of us, and each of us continue to carry that tradition today. And many of you share these same values every single day. For this, I can't thank you enough. I'll never forget a lady's story at an MCC kickoff several years ago. She shared that the reason she was giving to the MCC is because she and her family were recipients of programs and services made possible by the charities who helped her. She was committed now to giving back and helping others in return. It drove home to me the point that we may never know who needs help. It could be a neighbor, person in the next cubicle, in the office down the hall, person who works on the floor above us, may even be ourselves. What I do know is that many charities are still reeling from the financial losses incurred during the height of the pandemic. Despite their continued struggles to make ends meet, they continue to respond to a surging demand for programs and services. This year's MCC is as important as ever as the needs of the most vulnerable continue to escalate. Did you know that if every state employee and retiree gave just $2 per pay, we would exceed our $2 million goal? Just $2 a pay. Are you able to do that? Can you give up the cost of a Coke or a bottle of water every pay period to feed the hungry, provide clothing and a hot meal for a veteran? Maybe your heart is drawn to our furry friends, or to fund research for a cure, or helping victims of domestic violence or hurricanes or tornadoes, fires, and floods. Perhaps you feel called to make a sacrifice for those who are struggling in some other way. The truth is, there but for the grace of God goes all of us, like that fellow employee I met at that kickoff so many years ago. You likely know that the MCC is the state's workplace giving campaign, which provides the mechanisms for state employees and retirees to financially support this year 1,020 eligible charities. There are a few things that set the MCC apart from other charitable giving initiatives. But each year, charities apply to participate in the campaign, and Lori, who you met at the beginning of this session, personally reviews each application to ensure that they are legitimate, fiscally sound, and meet the criteria of an executive order that was issued in the 1980s and still applies today. A rigorous application and review process ensures that every charity is thoroughly vetted, and you can give confidently knowing that each charity is sound. Campaign uses a state-of-the-art, easy-to-use workplace giving platform which allows you to support eligible charities of your choice through payroll deduction, credit card, debit card, or electronic check, whatever's best for you. Personally, my husband Joe and I have given to charities through payroll deduction for decades. It's easy. I just pledge it and forget it. Deductions are taken out in the very first pay period in January 2022. And for me, it's a painless way of giving. So whether you give a little or give a lot isn't the point. The point is, if you are able, please give. What may seem like a small, insignificant amount to you may make a huge impact to the ultimate recipients. Did you know that just $2 per pay will make a huge impact to someone who's illiterate? It will. It will provide a tutor and adult learner a year's worth of supplies for reading and math materials. We don't often consider that in 2021 that illiteracy is a problem, but it is, as is financial illiteracy. Imagine how much greater the impact if you can donate more. The dollars donated to the MCC are unrestricted funds, which gives the charities the flexibility to spend the donation on their most urgent needs, which may be as simple as literally paying the electric bill so that they can continue to provide programs and services. As a former executive of local, national, and international charities, my experience confirms that unrestricted funds are essential to keeping charities afloat. This year's theme, Maryland Gives, Inspires Hope, is truly inspired by your generosity. The 2021 MCC video illustrates just how much your generosity to the MCC impacts the participating charities and demonstrates that hope that's inspired by your giving. Without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce the 2021 MCC video.
I'm Governor Larry Hogan, and as the chair of the Maryland Charity Campaign, I am asking you to consider joining me in donating as part of this year's campaign. Every year since 1984, the Maryland Charity Campaign has raised millions of dollars for the most vulnerable among us. As we face the most daunting public health and economic challenges of our lifetime, this campaign is a powerful way to stand together and give to the organizations that serve Marylanders in need, because we truly are all in this together. Learn how you can participate in this year's campaign by visiting mcc.maryland.gov. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford. I co-chair and participate in the Maryland Charity Campaign every year because it helps support nonprofit organizations working to promote the health, safety, and well-being of Marylanders. Through your generosity, the Maryland Charity Campaign has raised more than $13 million to meet the needs of our neighbors and friends. The demand on these organizations has increased exponentially during the pandemic because of devastating losses, including loss of job and loved ones. We are once again calling on you to help Marylanders in need. Our goal is to raise at least $2 million this year for the more than 1,000 charities across the state. This year's theme is MD Gives, Inspires Hope. Please join me in supporting the 2021 Maryland Charity Campaign. Your generosity will make a difference and bring hope to those facing homelessness, hunger, substance use disorder, and other life-impacting circumstances. Visit mcc.maryland.gov and donate today. Thank you.
Hello, fellow Marylanders. I want to talk to you about the Maryland Charity Campaign today. So what sets the 2021 Maryland Charity Campaign apart from other fundraising campaigns is that the MCC combines our individual efforts into a collective, powerful movement of generosity. There are more than 1,000 charities participating this year, and each has been thoroughly vetted by my staff to ensure they meet our stringent participation requirement. With a range of causes represented, from food insecurity to domestic violence, homelessness to healthcare, the environment to a cause personally close to my heart, human trafficking. And you're sure to find a nonprofit working on an issue of importance to you, whether it's a few dollars total or a few dollars per paycheck. Your individual contribution makes an even bigger impact because it's consolidated with your colleagues across the state. In addition to choosing how much you want to give and to which nonprofit you want to give, you also get to choose how you want to give, whether it's a one-time or recurring gift, or by payroll deduction, debit or credit card, or electronic check. So let's come together across the state and show the world how generous Marylanders really are. The charitable community, which was among the worst affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, is counting on us, not just for survival, but to grow and expand and do even more good for the most vulnerable among us. Please join me in showing that Maryland Gives inspires hope. Let's show the world that we're united. We are Maryland Strong. Please visit mcc.maryland.gov to get started. And thank you so very much for your contribution.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Rhee. I'm thrilled to once again serve as Vice Chair of the Maryland Charity Campaign in partnership with my friend and colleague, Dr. Mary Beth Tong. Even before I was Vice Chair of the 2020 MCC, I was a supporter of the campaign for a number of reasons. Of course, there's the obvious. The funds raised do so much good in communities near and far. Beyond that, what strikes me is that the campaign reflects the individuality and spirit of our state's diverse collective workforce. That means each of us gets to decide what giving back means to us personally, and we get to make decisions based on our individual values and interests. In other words, we are in the driver's seat of our own philanthropy. For example, we get to choose which charities we want to support. The campaign includes more than 1,000 causes, including food banks, mental health services, homeless shelters, and many others that have played and are playing a vital, critical role in serving our most vulnerable neighbors during the pandemic. We also get to choose how much we want to give. A donation of any size helps, of course. But consider this, pledging just $1 a paycheck, the cost of soda, will equal to $26 total. That provides 74 meals to Maryland families in need. Yes, 74 meals. Think about that. One of the best things about the MCC is that you can make a huge difference without making a huge dent in your bank account. Plus, we get to choose how we want to give. Through payroll deductions, you get to set it and forget it. It's that simple, or by debit or credit card or electronic check. At the end of the day, your philanthropy should be just that, yours, highly personal. I'm proud that the MCC helps each of us shape our philanthropy in a way that is unique to us. I hope you'll join me and start your journey today. Just visit mcc.maryland.gov to get started.
Hello. I proudly served as a Vice Chair of the Maryland Charity Campaign in 2020, and I'm honored to once again this year, alongside my friend and colleague, Special Secretary Rhee, serve once again. As we watch the COVID-19 pandemic rage around us, something remarkable happened. We saw the charity campaign became a way to help restore hope. The result of that hope is tangible. Thanks to your generosity and that of all of our colleagues across Maryland, we surpassed last year's $2 million fundraising goal. That's incredible. Now we have the chance to build on our message of hope because our work is far from over. In all, there are more than 1,000 charities participating in this year's charity campaign, more than last year. And each organization urgently needs our support to continue their good work this year. We invite you to join us and give today. Just visit mcc.maryland.gov to get started. Let's prove that there is hope even when times are tough. Let's show our friends and our neighbors who were hit the hardest by the pandemic that we have not forgotten them. Each gift through the 2021 charity campaign sends a message of hope to our community, all of our community. Thank you for spreading your message of hope, for inspiring your colleagues to participate, and for making the world a better place. You are why we say Maryland Gives, inspires hope. Thank you.
Wasn't it a great video?
Very inspiring.
The video will be posted on the MCC website at mcc.maryland.gov, as well as on our giving portal, Facebook page, and elsewhere. So you'll have a chance to watch it again. I encourage you to like the MCC posts on the MCC Facebook page and on the Office of the Secretary of State's Facebook page. Special thanks to the Department of Juvenile Services who created our 2021 video. I am so very grateful for their time, talent, and creativity. Our thanks, of course, also to each of those who were featured in the video. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce you to Maryland's Secretary of State, John Wilkensmith, who is an enthusiastic champion of the Maryland Charity Campaign. Mr. Secretary.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy, and good afternoon, everybody. You're going to hear from a couple of us now twice, having just watched the video, but I want to personally thank each of you for being a part of this year's MCC Kickoff. Obviously, your combined generosity speaks volumes about the dedication and the generosity of our state employees and retirees. And I'm overjoyed with all that we achieved together during last year's Maryland Charity Campaign and excited about what lies ahead for this year's MCC. So allow me to share 6 key details about this year's campaign. First, the campaign runs from October 5th to December 14th. And those 10 weeks will fly by and will be over actually before we actually realize it or know it. So please visit the MCC website today at mcc.maryland.gov and let's kick off our exciting 2021 campaign. Second, our goal for 2021, as has been said, is $2 million. And as was pointed out last year, we exceeded our $2 million goal. And with your help, I know we can do it again. Think of how much can be raised. As Kathy was saying earlier, if every state employee and retiree gave just $2 per pay period, it would be incredible. And as we know, charities are experiencing a surge in the demand for programs and services from our neighbors who are in need and simultaneously experiencing shrinking resources. So each of us has the capacity to make a profound difference in the lives of others by donating through the MCC. Together, we can fill the gap for the 1,000+ participating charities who meet the needs of those who depend upon them every single day. And third, I'm pleased to announce, as was just said in the video, our 2021 theme, which is Maryland Gives, Inspires Hope. The theme embodies what you do by donating to your favorite charities through the MCC. You inspire hope for citizens in Maryland and beyond every single day. You inspire hope for the charities close to your heart and hope for those who benefit from the programs and services provided by those charities. Fourth, more than 1,000 charities qualified, as was said, to participate in the 2021 Maryland Charity Campaign. Each one was approved to participate, so you can give to any of the participating charities with deep confidence in that. Weekly drawings will be held. Lucky winners will win exciting prizes. Everyone who donates is eligible from the day they give until either they win or the campaign ends. And finally, we're blessed with a cadre of volunteers who support the MCC and without whom the MCC would simply not be possible. So special thanks to our loaned executives, our campus champions and coordinators, each of whom spreads the word and plays a key role in coordinating departmental events and helps achieve that over $2 million goal. All of us at the Secretary of State's office, myself, Luis, Kathy, and Lori, are indebted to everyone who has worked so hard to ensure a successful 2021 campaign. And every year, as was delighted such an amazing job last year, and they're back here again, and we're so pleased that Dr. Mary Beth Tong, the Director of Maryland Energy Administration, and Special Secretary Jimmy Rhee, who is the Secretary of the Small Minority and Women Business Affairs. And we're so grateful for their leadership, vision, enthusiasm, and for agreeing to once again serve as vice chairs for this year. And it's now my pleasure and thrilled to introduce them to you, beginning first with Dr. Mary Beth Tong. So Mary Beth, over to you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Secretary Wilkensmith, and hello to all of you. I promise not to take up too much of your time today. You undoubtedly have a busy day ahead. I know I do. But I would be remiss if I did not first thank Governor Hogan for appointing me to the vice chair position alongside my friend and colleague, Special Secretary Rhee. And thank you to Secretary Wilkensmith, Kathy, Lori, and to everyone behind the scenes of the campaign. I agreed to serve the campaign last year because I knew how much good the campaign does for the community. Little did I know, and little did Secretary Rhee know, that when we agreed to join the campaign, that we'd be facing a pandemic not long afterwards. Yes, as time went on, I watched something miraculously happen. I saw firsthand that the MCC is a beacon of hope. Hope that we can and do help each other during the worst of times and the best of times. Hope that together, not only will we continue to face a pandemic head on, but that people and communities that comprise Maryland will come out of it even stronger and more resilient than before. We achieved something amazing last year when we surpassed our MCC goal, and now we have an opportunity to build on that message of hope. By supporting charities that we know and love, we actively hold each other in our community and pass on that beacon of hope to others, which encompasses our theme this year. Maryland gives, inspires hope. Like the flame from the Olympic torch, we can ensure that the beacon of hope that is the MCC will continue to burn throughout the year. Like the Olympic torch, we cannot only spark that message of hope ourselves, but we can pass it along and ask our friends and colleagues to join us in giving. I'm incredibly proud to be part of that, and I hope you are too. Because the hope that MCC brings to others is not just a result of our collective impact, but from our individual part that we play as donors. As Secretary Wilkensmith stated, just a donation of $2 a paycheck, or $52, from each of us would exceed our $2 million goal and provide hope to so many. And that's a message of hope we can all get behind. I hope you'll join me and give to charities you care about today. Just visit mcc.maryland.org to get started. And that's live today. As was mentioned before, you can give by payroll deduction or credit or debit card or electronic check. Giving online through electronic check was a new feature last year. We had a lot of new features last year. This is one of them. And it was so successful that we're proud to offer it again this year. To that end, as you can imagine, last year we had to do a lot of thinking outside the box. Last year was anything but business as usual, as you all know. So along with electronic checks, the other brand new feature we offered last year was text to give, virtual fundraising. I'm pleased to report that this was a massive success as well. So we will continue to feature these opportunities again this year and going forward. I was surprised how easy that was to add onto our list of offerings. So that was really a nice thing we added last year, I think. In a nutshell, text to give, which many of you are familiar in many fundraising opportunities, simply means that you're invited to an event, often with unique text and web link, and you can just do it on your phone. And that link is specific for that virtual event. Last year, we saw more than 100 events, from pumpkin decorating contests to bingo, from Thanksgiving baskets to cookbook creations, ugly sweater contests, those are fun, to offering an extra day from lunch to lunch with the secretary, to bringing pets to virtual hangout. Each event was amazing and exemplified the culture and creativity of that agency, department, or university. They were also smashing success from a fundraising point of view as well. To participate in any of those events, you had to donate sometimes for as little as $1, and at times you could decide what to give. But all of the proceeds supported MCC Charities, which was a big part of the reason we exceeded our goals last year. I, for one, cannot wait to see what you come up with this year. I know our loaned executive is coming up with some fun events. Every time you and the others who join participate, you're spreading the MCC's message of hope. Thank you for doing your part in inspiring others with MCC's message of hope and for participating in whatever level is comfortable for you. If you can give today, I applaud you, but you can both give and participate in one of these events. I salute you. Thank you for your time. And now, to talk to you about the amazing charities you can support through the campaign, I pass the torch to my friend and colleague, Special Secretary Ree. Secretary Ree, you're on.
Great. Well, thank you. I'm very proud to join you, Dr. Tong, as Vice Chair once again. Just as I'm so honored to support all of you listening in, there's so many familiar faces here. Each of us has a hand in making this year's campaign the best one yet. I think it's important that we take a moment to shine a light on the causes and charities at the heart of the MCC. Let's first step back a minute and discuss charities overall. As a state employee, your everyday work supports Maryland's citizens and our neighbors in countless ways. I'm sure you know that, but it's also important that you know you're not alone. The nonprofit community is with you. They are with us every step of the way. Schools, healthcare facilities, parks, museums, places of worship. Some of our most fundamental needs are met by nonprofits. There was never so evident as last year when charities stepped up to fill many of the crucial gaps created by the pandemic. At other times, the unseen hand of charity is there, but we may not even know it. They support and guide us to a better life and healthier community in ways large and small. And by donating to causes you love through the MCC, you not only support charities that matter to you personally, you also strengthen the sector, our community, and our world at large. In other words, when we support a charity, we become a beacon of hope, as Dr. Tong said. But a question that I often hear is this: do donations truly make a difference? You know, when we put that question to charities, what amazes me is that the response is the same, no matter what charity or which charity we ask. The answer is an overwhelming yes. All donations, no matter the size of the donation or the payment method used, helps. The next question I usually hear is this: but how do you know? The answer I always give is this: I know because the charities tell us so. In fact, every year after charities have been approved to participate in the campaign, we ask them to describe how their services benefit the community through their stories, photos, the videos, and so on. We also ask them specific data on how exactly certain donations help. We want to know what exactly $1 a paycheck would do for that charity. What would $5, $10, or $50 a paycheck do? I'll read to you just 3 of the hundreds of responses that we received. $5 a paycheck, which is $130 total, makes it possible to keep the utilities running for persons struggling with a recent job loss. $10 a pay period, a total of $260, provides 20 ill or injured veterans with physical or psychological rehabilitation. $20 a paycheck, that is $520, supplies a food pantry with 48 pounds of fresh produce. It's a big deal. Again, those are just 3 responses that we received, and we encourage you to view our infographic featuring other statements like this on our website, mcc.maryland.gov. But you know, for all the responses, 2 things struck me last year, or this year rather. First, the charity's need is more urgent than ever. It's clear that the pandemic has taken toll on the nonprofit community, and among the causes you can support this year are food banks, mental health services, homeless services, animal shelters, and many others that played a critical role in serving the most vulnerable among us, especially those impacted by the pandemic. In fact, we asked charities to tell us how they are supporting pandemic relief efforts. So please look for that PDF on our website as well. Now, the other thing that struck me from the charities' responses is that every donation, no matter what size, is helpful. So I encourage you to give whatever is feasible for you today. Please don't wait. This is our chance to show the world that Maryland Gives inspires hope. Luckily, the charities you can support are as diverse as the people who donate to the campaign. No matter what kind of charity you are interested in, big or small, new or established, focusing locally or globally, working on everything from A to Z, the arts to zoological organizations, we've got you covered. So if you know what charities you want to support, all you need to do is select them on the giving portal and state how much you want to donate. If you're still deciding, there are a variety of ways to get to know them. On our website, you can peruse the charity directory in the giving guide, listing all 1,000 charities alphabetically. Or click the charity search button to search by name, keyword, or employer identification number. Also on our website, along with campaign video Kathy unveiled earlier today, and the video of this kickoff, which will be added shortly after this ends, I encourage you to take a look at the YouTube playlist of more than 200 videos straight from our participating charities. As much as I could go on about the charities participating in our campaign, I think it would be even more impactful to hear from one yourself. So for that, I will hand things over to Lori Parks, who will introduce us to some representatives of the fantastic causes shaping our world. Lori?
Thank you, Dr. Tong and Special Secretary Ree. And again, thank you all for being here and joining us today. So far, we've heard about last year's MCC, and we've heard some key details about this year's campaign. Now, before we hear from a few of the participating charities, I just want to give you one more little piece. So every year, the campaign holds drawings once a week. In fact, in addition to overnight stays, restaurant gift cards, certificates to tickets, to adventure parks, and giving away gift cards, we again will be having a $500, $1,000, and a $1,500 gift card. Who couldn't use that, especially with the holidays coming up? So to be eligible, all you have to do is donate. Go online, pledge whatever you feel comfortable with. As soon as you pledge, you'll be in the drawing. So of course, the sooner you pledge, the more chances you have to win one of our weekly drawings. And just to let you know, for today only, if you donate by midnight tonight, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win one of 4 $50 gift cards. So we will have 4 lucky winners today, $50 gift card each. So don't hesitate. Go on there, hit that donate button, donate what you can. See if you can win one of those gift cards. So right now, I would like to start introducing our charity speakers. And first up, I would like to introduce Andrew Primrose, who is the Director of Major Gifts from the House of Ruth of Maryland. House of Ruth of Maryland provides comprehensive services and shelter to victims and families of intimate partner violence. They also have a 24-hour hotline, crisis counseling, legal representation, abuse intervention, and outreach. Andrew?
Thank you so much for that introduction, and you took a good chunk of the presentation. So thank you. That was good. I appreciate that. So yes, my name is Andrew Primrose, and I represent the House of Ruth, Maryland. I want to be brief because I know there are a lot of other organizations that you want to get to. So basically, what I would like to talk to you today about is what is intimate partner violence? What do we work with? what the organization does to address it, and then how you can help support us. So what we call IPV, or intimate partner violence, is a pattern of coercively controlling behaviors used by a previous or current partner to gain or maintain power and control over another partner. So in an unhealthy relationship, power and control is used in a patterned way in order to maintain control. That's an unhealthy behavior, and oftentimes it results in physical violence. The prevalence of this issue is kind of staggering. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will suffer severe physical violence in a relationship. So 1 in 4 women, if we look at 250 some people on this call, and imagine 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men. The other thing that we know about IPV is that it's across all socioeconomic levels, all education, racial, gender, and age groups. This is a societal issue where these abuses occur. And so it is not one group, not one area. All Marylanders are affected by this issue. Last year, House of Ruth, Maryland saw 6,641 adult victims of intimate partner violence, and 434 children came to us for programs and services. We know that's just a small portion of the need that's available, that's out in our community. We know that right now we've seen a 20% increase in phone calls to our crisis hotline since the COVID started, and we know that that's small. We know that there are people that can't get to us for programs and services. We also know that violent domestic crime is up 31% in Baltimore City over that time frame. So how are we working to address it? We staff a 24-hour hotline, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, staffed by professionals. We also have a chat line. So if people can't get on the phone, they're stuck in an abusive relationship and their abusive partner's in the home and they can't speak on the phone, but they maybe can access a phone or computer, they can text us. We have an emergency shelter, 84 beds. That shelter was built in 2000. It reached capacity 2 weeks after it was open, and it maintains that capacity every day since then. We have group and individual counseling services that we provide to people that stay with us in our shelter, and then also people that come to us outpatient to visit us. We have a full service legal clinic. We have attorneys that are on staff and in courtrooms across Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Prince George's, and Montgomery County, where we work free of charge to provide legal services to victims of intimate partner violence. We have an abuse intervention program that works directly with abusers to change and address the behaviors. And we have a training institute that works to provide community awareness and services so that the community can understand this issue. The way that you can help, of course, is to select us as an MCC charity in your charitable contributions. We are on page 32 of the MCC Giving Guide. You can see a description of us. We are House of Ruth, Maryland. You will also see that there is a House of Ruth, DC. They're an excellent organization that we do not are not affiliated with, but they work in the DC area. We work in the Central Maryland region. I also want to give you the 24-hour hotline. It's 410-889-7884. For any needs for the organization, please go there. You can visit us at hruth.org. We really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today, to share our message, and for all that you do to help support the Maryland community.
Thank you, Andrew. Our next speaker today is Peggy Funk. She is Executive Director of Hospice and Palliative Care Network of Maryland, Incorporated. The Hospice and Palliative Care Network leads and advances quality hospice and palliative care by serving as an advocate and resources for all Marylanders. Peggy?
Thanks, Lorraine. So good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here with you this afternoon. And it is an honor to be able to kick off the Maryland Charity Campaign. So I want to thank you for your support, as these have been very challenging times indeed. We are privileged to have your support, and we're grateful. The Hospice and Palliative Care Network of Maryland provides education and outreach for members and the community at large on end-of-life care issues. We advocate for quality care on both the state and federal level. Each year, our members provide hospice and palliative care services for over 24,000 patients and their loved ones. I'd like to share just a few quick facts about hospice and palliative care. So hospice is patient-centric care focus, which is it's focused on the quality of life for patients and their caregivers who are experiencing an advanced life-limiting illness. This is different than palliative care, Palliative care is a specialized medical care for people that are living with a serious illness. That could be heart disease, COPD, cancer, or any even really diabetes in a very serious form. So care is focused on providing relief from the symptoms of stress of serious illness. And the goal is to improve quality of life for both the patient and the family. And patients do continue to receive curative treatment under palliative care. Hospice care is fully funded by Medicare. Most insurances also provide a hospice benefit, and as does the VA. For those who do not have insurance, Charity Chair is provided to take care of their needs. Hospice is a philosophy of care whereby services are received wherever that patient calls home. So hospice is not a place. It's really a philosophy of care, and you can receive hospice in a nursing home, assisted living facility, hospital. Even times we have provided hospice care to the homeless wherever they call home. Hospice also provides bereavement services for the community. Because our members are so specially trained in bereavement services and counseling, we're often called into the community during times of crisis, such as a suicide in a school or opioid overdose, which is, I know many Maryland families have experienced. It's a tragedy, but we are there to help as needed. So I just want to say that your support helps the network provide education and outreach in our underserved communities, as well as education and support for our members and their staff. So I want to thank you again for your kind support. And if you would like additional information, please feel free to visit us at www.hnmd.org. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you for joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
Our next speaker is Jenny Smith. She is the Development Director for Habitat for Humanity Chop Tank. Habitat works towards the vision of a world where everyone has a decent place to live by building and improving homes in partnership with individuals and families in need of a decent and affordable place to live. Jenny?
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me here as part of your kickoff. I love the theme of your campaign this year. I love that word hope. That is central to who Habitat for Humanity is. We work in partnership with God and all people to rehab, build and repair homes, improve the quality of life in communities, and help to restore hope in the lives of those we serve. We rely on volunteers, financial donations, material contributions, so that each Habitat home is the result of a unique partnership among a deserving family, dedicated volunteers, community and partners, and inspired donors. And as you've sort of heard as a theme here, the need is definitely great, especially because of the pandemic. According to a study funded by the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, the region that that Habitat Chop Tank serves has a high cost burden rate, very prevalent, which means that people are paying over 50% or more on their housing situation. Just think what that means for other needs of a family: food on the table, healthcare, transportation, all of those things that are very necessary for a quality of life. Our clients are having to make very serious choices among those things in order to be able to continue to live in their home. Our region also has a high poverty and a fairly low household income. And one thing that's sort of come up that's kind of new because of the pandemic, I'm sure you've noticed supply chain problems, the cost of some goods has skyrocketed, and that has certainly been the case in the construction field. So it's putting affordable home ownership even further out of reach of some of the families that we serve. So what kind of do we do to serve these families? Probably the most traditional part is the home ownership program that Habitat is known for, but we also do a lot of repair work to allow our senior citizens and those who have been living in their homes for a long time to be able to repair their homes and have a nice quality of life and be able to stay in the neighborhoods where they have been for years, and be able to still contribute to the life and the vibrancy of their neighborhoods. We also do a lot of education around how to be a good neighbor, how to budget, how to save money, and all of those skills that are really critical to be able to own a home. I think one of the bigger myths that is out there about Habitat is that we give our houses away, but that is very far from the case. Our families work very hard to one, put in what we call sweat equity. So in place of a down payment on their home, they put in hours on the job site, helping to build either their own home or a neighbor's home or repairing a home. So they really were working at our restore. They're able to volunteer with us in a number of ways. They have to meet certain income guidelines so that they're able to afford a mortgage. They have to go through a lot of education courses with us to cover some of those things that I mentioned earlier. They must save $4,500 for closing costs in the first year of their homeowner's insurance. That's a big ask for some of our families whose income is on the lower end and who have children at home. A lot of our clients happen just to be single mothers. And so they're very hardworking and just need a hand up to be able to get into owning a home or being able to repair their home. And then they, for at least for our repair clients, we are loaning them the money. They pay it back on a sliding scale so that they're able to replenish the funds and help another neighbor. So I really, and I very much appreciate all of the support that's been provided from the state of Maryland. Maryland Energy Association works with us on energy efficiency of our Habitat homes. We have been the recipient of some block grants from the Housing and Community Development Organization. And we have been members of the MCC in the past. And I can attest to the fact that every little bit helps. And I really do appreciate very much the support. I'm with Habitat Chop Tank, which serves 2 counties over on the eastern shore of Maryland. There are different affiliates that may be part of the MCC, but I encourage you to take a look at our program. We are at habitatchoptank.org. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you to all of our speakers for joining us today. So now, as we're getting ready to wrap things up, you've heard about the details of the MCC, why charities you can support need your help urgently, and giving through the campaign, you become a beacon of hope for those charities. So just as a final reminder, please don't forget to give today for your chance to win one of the 4 $50 gift cards. 4 people will be randomly chosen, and you'll be notified by email. So check out our website at mcc.maryland.gov. If you can't give today, just remember the campaign is open until December 14th. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for taking part and joining us today. And I'm going to turn it back over to Kathy Smith for some final remarks.
Thanks so much, Lori. And thank you to all of our speakers. You just are amazing. And all of our charities. So before we close, let me just thank Lori Parks, because without her, this campaign simply does not run. She makes the entire thing possible. So Lori, thank you so much. We're so deeply grateful for you and for all of your efforts. You know, we've all seen those TV commercials. I'm sure you have, like I have, with those actors plugging their preferred charities for causes affecting children or the protection of animals or other causes. But unlike those commercials, our office, through Lori, assures that every single donor who donates to the Maryland Charity Campaign is participating in a charity that has been thoroughly vetted. That's an amazing gift. As the 2021 MCC Kickoff closes, allow me to share a reflection from Maya Angelou, which captures the power and impact of your donations through the Maryland Charity Campaign. Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Thank you for joining us for today's kickoff. Please check out the MCC website. You've heard it so many times before. And thank you, as Maya Angelou shared, for demonstrating that Maryland Gives inspires hope by your love and generosity, which recognizes no barriers, jumps hurdles, leaps fences, and penetrates the walls by donating to the MCC to inspire a future full of hope for those who often feel hopeless. So thank you so very much. God bless you today and always, and go donate. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe.